They said it was just ice. But what if I told you that deep within the frozen heart of Antarctica, there's a wall, not just any wall, but one made of glowing blue ice, stretching endlessly toward the sky. A wall that rebuilds itself every time someone tries to break it. In 1947, an American explorer stood before it, his hands shaking from more than just the cold. He heard voices coming from the other side of that ice. Some said it was the wind. Others believed it was something alive. Behind that wall, he claimed, lies a world forbidden to humanity, a hidden civilization, strange beings with gray skin and black, lifeless eyes, who communicate not with words, but with the mind itself. The government called it fiction. He called it truth. Tonight, we go back to the very beginning. The secret that started it all, Antarctica, the land that was never meant to be found. Long before the world became obsessed with space, there was another place, a land of endless ice, blinding winds, and secrets buried deep beneath the snow. The South Pole, a region so isolated, so dangerous, that even the bravest explorers feared to cross its frozen gates. Officially, Antarctica is just a frozen desert. But unofficially, it's a mystery that governments prefer you never ask about. In the early 20th century, one man dared to go beyond that silence. His name was Admiral Richard Byrd, a decorated U.S. Navy officer, a hero, and a man haunted by curiosity. Byrd led several expeditions to Antarctica, but what he claimed to have seen there would forever change how we see our world. During one of his flights over the South Pole, Byrd reported something impossible. He described a land beyond the ice, lush, green, and alive. It was warm, he wrote, filled with vegetation, and I saw creatures unlike any I had ever seen before. The U.S. government classified his reports immediately. His journal vanished. But decades later, fragments of those writings resurfaced. And what they described was beyond imagination. Byrd wrote about a massive blue wall, a colossal structure of frozen crystal that emitted a strange light. His aircraft instruments failed as he approached it. Then, he heard them, voices. Not through the radio, but inside his head. They told him to turn back. To never return. You are not ready, they said. Your world is not pure enough. When Byrd returned to the United States, he was silent. His eyes, witnesses say, seemed lost, as if they had seen something the human mind was never meant to understand. The years that followed brought new rumors that beneath the South Pole lies a hollow earth, an ancient civilization untouched by time. And that the blue wall is not ice at all but a barrier, a divine seal protecting humanity from what lives beyond. Some called it a myth. Others connected it to the story of Gog and Magog, ancient beings trapped behind a wall built by Dulcarnain, waiting for the day it falls. And if that sounds like fantasy, remember this: every legend begins with a truth that someone tried to hide. Governments deny, scientists ignore, but satellite images show that certain regions of Antarctica remain blurred, as if someone doesn't want us to see what's really there. And maybe, just maybe, Admiral Byrd wasn't the last man to stand before that glowing wall. Maybe someone never came back. They say history is written by the victors, but some chapters were never written at all. After World War II, rumors began to spread, whispers that Adolf Hitler had not died in his bunker but had escaped to the south. To Antarctica. At first, it sounded insane. But then, declassified Russian and American reports revealed something no one could easily explain. In 1938, the German Navy sent an expedition called Neuschwabenland. Officially, it was to study weather and wildlife. But the crew carried advanced equipment, scientists, and engineers specialized in underground construction. They marked a region deep within the icy mountains and named it Base 211, a place that doesn't exist on any modern map. Decades later, a statement from Admiral Karl Dönitz, one of Hitler's top officers, would ignite the world's imagination. He said, "The German submarine fleet is proud to have built for the Führer an impregnable fortress in another part of the world." No one knew what he meant. But many believed he was talking about Antarctica. What was hidden there? According to some accounts, the Nazis discovered vast underground caverns warm, illuminated, and full of strange metallic structures. Others claim they made contact with something living inside, beings of immense knowledge and technology, known only as the Greys. These entities, gray-skinned and silent, communicated directly into the human mind. They offered the Nazis a promised power, technology, and knowledge beyond human science in exchange for loyalty and secrecy. By the end of the war, the Nazis were losing on the surface, but beneath the ice, their research continued. And when the war ended, the Americans launched a secret mission, Operation High Jump, led by Admiral Richard Byrd himself. Officially, it was a scientific mission. And officially, it was an invasion. Dozens of warships, aircraft carriers, and troops were sent to Antarctica to find out what the Germans had built there. But within weeks, the mission was cut short. Several planes were lost. Survivors spoke of flying discs emerging from beneath the ice, weapons far beyond anything known at the time. Byrd returned home pale, shaken, and silent. In a later interview, he said something cryptic: "We must prepare for a new enemy, one that can fly from pole to pole faster than sound." After that, Byrd disappeared from the public eye. His journals were sealed. His mission reports classified. And the frozen land he spoke of remained forbidden. Decades passed, and the world moved on. But beneath the surface, the same shadows were still moving. In 2012, a woman named Dr. Maya Sobhi appeared on television. Calm, intelligent, but with eyes that carried secrets too heavy to share. She spoke of things no one dared to mention: secret treaties between world powers and the beings of the South Pole, and a silent project designed to reshape humanity forever. They called it the Avatar Project. At first, people laughed. They thought it was science fiction. But she warned that this was no fantasy. According to her, the world's elite were working on a plan to merge human consciousness with artificial intelligence to create digital replicas of people, identical in thought, memory, and emotion. The goal: immortality. The first stage, she said, began with what we all now know: our digital selves. Your social media profile. Your photos. Your voice samples. Your online patterns. Every click, every post, every word, feeding a silent system that learns who you are. One day, she said, your avatar will think, act, and decide without you. And when your body dies, it will continue. The second phase, between 2025 and 2035, would transfer human memories directly into these avatars. The final stage, by the year 2045, would create physical, living replicas, bodies identical to ours, powered by consciousness itself. Maya warned that this technology wasn't human in origin. She said it came from the same beings that lived beyond the blue wall, the same race that had once met the Nazis in the ice. They promised eternal life, she said, but only for those who surrender their souls to the system. Many dismissed her as crazy. Others claimed she was silenced. She vanished soon after her interviews, and no one has seen her since. But look around now. Avatars, digital clones, AI that talks like humans, thinks like humans, and soon, feels like humans. Everything she predicted is happening. Maybe immortality was never meant to be achieved by man. Maybe it was the temptation that the Antichrist himself will use. He will promise to bring back the dead, Maya said. He will make them walk again, but they will not be alive. They will be avatars. Synthetic souls wearing human faces. And that's when humanity will face its final test. Because the wall of ice was never built to keep something in. It was built to keep us out. There are places humans were never meant to enter and truths we were never meant to uncover. But curiosity is our curse, and the ice is beginning to crack. The deeper you look into the ice, the colder the truth becomes. Maybe Antarctica isn't a continent at all, but a barrier, a frozen gate that separates our world from something else. Something ancient. Something alive. Throughout history, Explorers, prophets, and scientists have all spoken of hidden lands, of civilizations sealed behind walls of stone or light. Maybe they weren't myths. Maybe they were warnings. What if the blue wall is the same barrier mentioned in every religion and legend? The wall of Dhul-Qarnayn, built to imprison the nations of Gog and Magog until the end of time. And what if that wall isn't in some forgotten desert or mountain? What if it's here, buried beneath the ice of Antarctica? Ancient texts say that one day, the wall will begin to weaken, and when it falls, chaos will rise from beneath Earth. Scientists now warn of melting ice, rising seas, and shifting magnetic poles. But maybe it's not just nature changing. Maybe something is awakening. The blue ice rebuilding itself. The strange signals detected from beneath the frozen surface. The unexplained military operations that no one talks about. All of it connected. What if every discovery, every piece of technology we've been given, every breakthrough in AI and cloning, isn't really ours but a gift from the same beings trapped beneath the ice? A trade. Technology for control. Progress for obedience. And when the day comes that we can no longer tell the difference between human and machine, between soul and code, that's when the wall will finally fall. And the beings behind it will walk among us again. Until then, the governments will deny, the scientists will hide, and the ice will keep its silence. But remember this, every secret eventually melts. And when it does, we may wish we had never known. The truth sleeps beneath the ice, waiting for someone brave enough or foolish enough to wake it up. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If these mysteries fascinate you as much as they do us, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an expedition into the shadows. We'll see you next time.